So, you just downloaded ARK Survival Ascended and you're ready to play. Now, you have the options to choose between online or single player depending on what you're looking for. Once you spawn in, you'll be greeted by an insanely long spawn in animation, which makes you very vulnerable to every player in Dino. Now, there's two ways you're going to spawn in, either getting killed by a Dilo or very calm. Now, the very calm way consists of you walking around and then most likely dying, so yeah, welcome to ARK Survival Ascended. ARK consists of two main options, being the PvP route and the PvE route. Each of these are great. PvP consists, well, of PvP. If you choose to go down the PvP route, you are in for a very challenging but fun time. Not only do you have to deal with the terrifying creatures, but also players who are most likely all in their 20s looking to kill as many players as possible to boost their ego. If you choose to stick to this route, you will be dealing with tryhards who will do anything possible to destroy your hopes and dreams. Here's a base. It's made of wood. This is what it looks like on PvE. And this is what it looks like on PvP. So yeah, PvP forces you to play ARK 24/7. Here's the average Steam profile of an ARK player. Now, there's the PvE route. Now this route is a lot of fun. If you're just looking to learn the game, this is the route for you. All players are friendly, however you still have to deal with the dinosaurs. You will wander across some cute and cuddly looking creatures only for them to devour your head off your body. Now, the good thing about PvE is that you could build a base anywhere on the map and however you want. It's a lot of fun in my opinion, but can get very boring very fast. I will warn you right now. Once you play ARK, you will not be playing any other games as it is so addicting. There's so much to do and so much to explore. Now it's time to get shelter. Start by gathering stone, wood, thatch, and fiber. These are the four main key resources that you will need at the beginning for everything. Then make some tools. Craft a pick and a hatchet. Once these are done, start to craft some foundations for your base. Start by making either a thatch or wood foundation. I recommend wood as thatch is super easy to destroy. The different tiers of a base are thatch, wood, stone, and metal. If you are on a server where there are boosted rates, going straight to stone structures is a very smart choice as players need explosives to break in. Now, it's time to find a place to put your shelter. Don't just build anywhere. I recommend building in a hidden and secluded spot as players on ARK can be very toxic and will try to raid you. Making yourself stand out is the last thing that you want to do on ARK. Now it's time to build. Start by placing down your foundations. I would start with a 2x2 base. Next, put down your walls and then follow that with a door frame and a door. Then place down your ceilings and just like that, you are done. Now having this shelter will make you feel like you're honestly pretty safe. However, you're not. You'll most likely lose everything the next morning after you log on. After all, this is ARK. Also, not to mention, when you log off, your body stays in the game. Players can still loot your stuff and sometimes even kidnap you and use your body for their personal slave trade. Now some essentials that you will need for topping off your base are a campfire for cooking some food, a mortar and pestle for making spark powder and narcotics, a bed to have a spawn point, a storage box of some kind, and then some forges and a smithy. These are all much needed for progression. Now it's time to tame your first dinosaur. This is the terrifying part of ARK, especially for new players. You have 102 different creatures on the island to choose from. If you're watching this when every other map is already out, then now you have 192 creatures. I'm going to go over the top 5 creatures that are great for starting out. Before we start, it's important to know that dinos can be tamed by knocking them out or by passive taming. So in a way, you're forcing them to be your slaves. First, you have the raptor. This dino is an extremely easy one to tame. You can literally walk up to it and knock it out with your fist. The raptor is a great dino for killing smaller dinos or gathering meat and traveling. Next up we have the pteranodon. This is going to be your first flyer. To knock him out you will need a bola and some trank arrows. This bad boy is not only used for early game traveling, but will be used all the way through your journey as they are amazing for PvP and just overall great dinos. Just make sure that you're taming a high level one or the PT will be practically useless. Next on our list we have the trike. Any non-ARK player should know what this thing is. The trike is a great berry gatherer and good for hauling lots of weight. To tame a trike, I would recommend a trap that looks something like this. It's simple and easy to build. Now, a trike can be used for raiding bases. They are amazing at soaking turrets and have a ton of health. I highly recommend them. Now, next on our list is the Argentavis. This is just a step up from the Pteranodon. It doesn't fly as fast, unfortunately, but can carry an insane amount of weight. To tame this, you will need a trap that looks like this, and you will need to bait him into the trap and then knock him out with some tranks. Its saddle is a portable smithy and is a great overall bird to have. Now finally, the last dino that I would recommend is the Ankylo. This guy is your metal farmer and will be for a very long time. He is perfect for gathering metal, stone, and flint, but is unfortunately very slow. That's where the RG comes to play, but you can pick the Anky up with the RG and farm resources that way. To tame the Anky, you can just trank him out and just keep running or even lead him into a trap. It's really up to you. All of these dinos can be tamed with these things that are called narcoberries, which can be found in bushes. The narcoberries will keep them knocked out. It's basically just putting them back to sleep. Now, there are two main food sources, which are meat and berries. The carnivores will need any type of meat depending on if it's a land creature or a sea creature. And then the herbivores will need any type of berry as long as it's not a stem berry or a narcoberry. Now, there are a ton of other creatures that are great for starting out, but these are my top 5. Be sure to check out Dododex for a full list of creatures on how to tame them. They're not a sponsor, but they are an awesome friend of mine. Now, it's time to learn about breeding. This isn't something that you will be doing right away, but it is very important. Breeding dinos is the best way to get some powerful creatures. Breeding consists of getting a male and female to make a baby. Not all dinos can breed. So how it works is that you will be breeding the babies with their mothers and fathers over and over until you come out with a weird colored baby. It sounds insane and very messed up, but that's the way of ARK. Breeding is also a great way to get good lines of dinos ready for war and have a lot of backups in case one dies. Now it's time to craft. In your menu you will find all of your engrams. These are all very important, but you do not have to unlock every single one of them. Just get the basic ones. For example, do structures and any main things like a smithy or an indie forge. After unlocking an engram, it will show up in your crafting menu and then you can make it. Now you will notice that you have levels which are needed to unlock these engrams. Those levels can go into any stat. It's really up to you for what stats that you want to upgrade, but I recommend doing health and weight as those are two very important ones at the beginning. Now it's time to upgrade your base. Start by upgrading your structures to stone or metal. Metal is a great tier to be at as it's not going to be easy for you to get raided. Adding turrets on your base will ensure that no players come near you. Turrets should go on the roof of your base on the corners, as you can see on screen right here. You need to cover all angles and make sure that you have plenty of turret ammo. Now there's some other things that you will want in your base like a fabricator. This is used to craft all the high-tech utilities. Upgrading from a regular forge to an indie forge is going to change how you get and use metal. It smelts metal 5 times faster and in groups, not just one piece at a time. The chem bench is also good for gunpowder and narcotics. It's just like a mortar and pestle, but just on crack. Now I would recommend getting some better dinos such as a Rex, a Rhino, a Spino, or even a Giga if that's something that you really want to do. Now the best way to conquer a server and be the alpha tribe is to fortify your base so it looks like something like this. With tons of turret towers all over the place. It's just a lot of fun, but very time consuming. Now it's time to raid. Start by crafting some C4 and any other weapons that you'll want for battle. Make sure that you have a lot of flak armor made up and try to get some good blueprints for them. Next, you will need a tanker. There are tons of choices like trikes, stegos, and turtles. Just get the one that suits the base that you are raiding the best. Make sure that you have a good saddle and not just a primitive saddle, otherwise you won't be able to soak turrets at all. To find blueprints, farm cave drops which look like these, or farm regular drops on land that looks like these. They're just not as good as the cave drops. Once you find your base to raid, set up a fob. A fob consists of a small 1x1 or 2x2 with turrets, a vault, and a bed for respawning. With raiding you will die a lot, so it's important to be prepared. Now use your dino for soaking the opposing turrets. If your enemy is online, it's going to be a fun but challenging battle. Offline raiding is not a good look, but it is also a lot easier to do. Now raiding is a lot of fun, but you will spend a ton of time doing it. The final step for beating ARK is boss fighting. There are 3 main bosses on the island, or depending on when you are seeing this video, there are much more now. The main 3 are the Broodmother, the Megapithecus, and the Dragon. To fight them, you need to collect all the artifacts which can be found in caves. Once found, you can start the boss fights at any obelisk and begin the fight. make sure that you're prepared by having a lot of dinos like Rexes or Therazinos. These are two great options for the fight. Once defeated, you will get Element, which is used for text structures. This element is very overpowered. And just like that, you beat ARK Survival Ascended. It's a fun but terrifying game. Are you up for the challenge?